you, Dave. Hello, Canada. Inside the Big Talk, which is open tonight. Starry night in BC. Beautiful night for football. It is a first-place showdown in the Wild West.
And Mike Benavides and the BC Lions currently lead. They are looking to be the first team in the CFL to 10 wins. Now, a big part of that is going to come down to who wins the battle of the Canadian running backs. Andrew Harris, 1,419 yards from scrimmage, leads the Canadian Football League in that department. He's going to have to be huge tonight with a couple receivers out of the lineup. John Cornish has been a monster over the last 2 months since the last time these two teams met, averaging over 100 yards per game on the ground. For John Hufnagel, he's had his struggles of late against the BC Lions. Looks to get things back on track and get a piece of first place here tonight.
We are getting closer, of course, to the 100th Grey Cup. We're in the stretch drive now. Two teams, very good chance that they could meet in the postseason. And one team, the BC Lions, so dominant, 7 wins in their last 9 games, but the Calgary Stampeders have peeled off 5 wins in their last 6. Keon Raymond and Jason Armstead are back to receive the kick from Paul McCallum. West Division rivals. They last met late July. And now Paul McCallum restructures here and still boots it deep. Here we go tonight. Stamps, Lions, round 2 on the season. Armstead up near the 45-yard line. Kevin Glenn brings his offense on the field. Our starters to watch are brought to you by Rona, proud partner of the CFL and its 8 teams. And
Kevin Glenn makes his 12th consecutive start at quarterback since replacing an injured Drew Tate. An astute acquisition in the offseason. John Cornish, of course, the CFL's leading rusher that held to -1 rushing yards the last time these two teams faced each other. Of course, the always reliable Nick Lewis looking to hit that 1,000-yard plateau.
Kevin Glenn, his 200th game tonight in the CFL. Quickly down the field. Marquay McDaniel hauling this in, and this is a team that comes up with a lot of big plays, and right out of the gate, the Calgary Stampeders are in full stride. 33-yard pickup. Kevin Glenn hooking up with Marquay McDaniel, former Ticats together.
Yeah, and Kevin Glenn gets a little bit of time. Teams aren't used to him throwing the ball on the move. They anticipate him being a pocket passer, but they move that pocket, buy some time. That allows Marquay McDaniel to slide into an open space, turned into a big game.
McDaniel used a lot more than he was in Hamilton. Up near 700 yards in receiving. Glenn goes to the air again, has time, and this one is incomplete and out of bounds. Looking for Jabari Arthur on the far side.
And for this BC Lions defense, Karan Williams continues to lead the Canadian Football League in sacks. He's now up to 9. Adam Bighill continuing his outstanding season, arguably the top defensive player in the Canadian Football League thus far. He leads with 72 tackles. For the 2nd consecutive week, number 2 pick in the draft this season, Jabbar Westerman replaces the injured Khalif Mitchell at defensive tackle.
Eric Taylor, who was questionable for this game with a bad back. And only the 2nd play from scrimmage, and there's some concern. Karan Williams went to him right away, and nose tackle, interior lineman in some distress. This is a BC Lion team without 4 starters tonight, including Khalif Mitchell, another interior lineman. G. Roy Simon, Arlan Bruce out, also John Hameister-Reese out.
If you keep an eye on Eric Taylor here, watch the left knee as he reaches the bottom of the screen, just gets twisted up in that knee, twisted underneath him. That's a whole lot of weight between Big E.T. and an offensive lineman coming down on top of him with that knee bent awkwardly. Be a big loss for a Lions defensive line. They came in only dressing 5 tonight. That includes Brandon Jordan, who's making his CFL debut.
Might that suggest also that we might see the 30 defense from Rich Stubler, a 3-4, when he can put in a Solomon Elimimian with an Adam Bighill?
Well, that may be an adjustment that comes as the game goes on, is to use that a little bit more than they had planned. And certainly now that Elimimian has been back with the Lions for a couple of weeks, his role in the defense grows a little bit week by week.
Brandon Jordan comes in, number 91 on the line to take over from the injured Eric Taylor. It's 2nd down and 10. From the BC 30, Glenn fires, and the catch made. Sure hands of Johnny Forzani, and Kevin Glenn took a jolt as well.
On a flag deep in the backfield.
Major foul, roughing a passer. BC, number 94. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Cream Smith creamed Kevin Glenn.
Cream Smith is going to come from his defensive end spot. Twist to the inside. Ball's gone. Smith is called. BC Lions defensively not off to the start they wanted. Kevin Glenn, meanwhile, surgical in his early precision.
Stampeders this season very proficient out of the gate, scoring on first possessions. Piled up a lot of points. 5 receivers to the left. Glenn, little hitch and go. And down to the 5-yard line. Reese Price, native of Orlando, Florida. 5th catch as a Calgary Stampeder. Out of Charleston Southern.
Price getting an opportunity to get back into the lineup this week. Joe West, who had the monster game for the Stamps a week ago, down with injury. But great depth the Stampeders have compiled in that receiving corps for this season.
2nd down and 5. Glenn over the top. Was looking for Mr. 2nd down, Nick Lewis. Overthrew him in the end zone. So the best the Stampeders are going to do here is to put 3 points up on the board. Bring their field goal unit up.
Nick Lewis leads the Calgary Stampeders with 8 touchdown receptions so far this season. The Lions well prepared, not surprised to see the ball going in his direction.
The Matador, Rene Paredes, comes out. Operating at near 90%. Only 3 misses this season. This is just a little chip shot inside the 15-yard line. Calgary Stampeders, impressive march. They end up with the first points on the board. A Paredes field goal, 3-0 Calgary. Thanksgiving Day weekend across Canada. Calgary Stampeders and BC Lions. Lions will get the ball for the first time and back in the lineup after missing a week with a collarbone injury. The ever-dangerous threat, Tim Brown. Paredes will kick it to Brown. Averages about 24 yards on a kickoff return. Has to spin this time and below that average this time, up near the 30-yard line.
As Travis Boulay goes to work, he may have to do a few introductions in the huddle. For the BC Lions this week offensively, much of it about who's not there. As Nick Moore replaces G. Simon this week, Courtney Taylor makes his CFL debut replacing the injured Arlen Bruce. Big Patrick Kabongo, the former Edmonton Eskimo, in at left guard for an injured John Hemeister-Reese.
Lions notorious slow starters, even though they have a 9-4 record on the season. Really struggled out of the gate, putting up points. Right away, Andrew Harris rumbles. Brandon Smith with the tackle, 8-yard pickup for Andrew Harris, who averages about 6.5 yards a carry. He has also, like John Cornish, had an outstanding season.
And a lot of talk about Andrew Harris maybe not getting the ball enough last week. 12 touches for him, just 8 carries, but didn't touch the ball until into the second quarter of that ball game against Saskatchewan. Dictated largely by the fact that the Rough Riders crowded the box, tried to take him out of the game plan a little bit. He needs to be a big part of things here tonight to keep the pressure off Lule.
2nd down and 2. The give again to Harris and churns for yardage. Juwan Simpson makes the tackle along with Malik Jackson. First down right away for Andrew Harris, the Winnipeg native who played some junior football on Vancouver Island with the Vancouver Island Raiders and is having one of those outstanding seasons. It has been the year of the Canadian running back, as it was last year. Trending, I would say, Canadian running backs the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, no question. The talent continues to improve across the country when you look at high school, college football, a number of outstanding prospects on the way that I think this is a trend that we're going to see last here in the CFL for several years.
Let's go down to the sideline with more on Andrew Harris. Here's Farhan Lalji. Farhan?
Well, guys, Jacques Chapdelaine took plenty of heat for not getting Harris the ball until the second quarter. And as Dwayne mentioned, he just felt that Saskatchewan was trying to take him out of the game plan. But he said, keep in mind, we did call 3 run plays to Harris, but Travis Lulay decided to pull the ball because the box was clogged. And now some media members suggested that they needed to try to get the ball to Harris anyway. And Chapdelaine said, well, I'd like to ask them, would they have the same criticisms of Alain Vigneault if he decided not to put the Sedin twins on a penalty kill just to see if they could score anyway? He says, why do they get immune from that same criticism, but we can't avoid it here?
Well, in that hockey mode, Ryan Kessler and some members of the Vancouver Canucks obviously have a lot of time to watch football and tweet. Canucks on the sidelines. Play action. Lulay goes deep and unable to bring it in. Nick Moore. And again, what might be an issue tonight for the BC Lions is the dearth of depth at receiver with no G. Simon and no Arland Bruce. That is some sure hands that they are missing tonight. Moore can't grab that.
Well, you touched on it, Rod. Not exactly the issue. The sure hands. Talked to the BC Lions receiver coach Travis Moore leading up to this football game. And this is what he suggested. I mean, athletically, in terms of his smoothness, running his routes, etc., Nick Moore is there, but just not as reliable in catching the football as a guy like G. Simon.
Here's the heat. Lulay fires. This time, first down. Kier Johnson, seen some playing time the last couple of games. He broke his forearm. Third game into the season after his first touchdown, and has finally found his way back into the lineup, healthy. And here's a guy who is able to do a lot of that on second down.
When we look to Kier Johnson, typically in this BC Lions offense, a smaller receiver, the speed guy who typically plays on the short side of the field. There you see him venturing into traffic to make a big catch and move the sticks.
Lulay, play action, and making the grab is Kier Johnson inside the 40-yard line.
This is a little bit more typical of what you see from that short side receiver spot. Out on the island is the corner, Keon Raymond, one-on-one coverage. Nicely executed out route there by Kier Johnson. A little zip from Travis Lulay to get it in there in front of the veteran defender.
Dwayne, you see that goose egg beside the BC Lions on the scoreboard right now. That has been something that Mike Benavides is trying to get away from. Their slow starts, only 1 point scored by the Lions over the last 3 games in first quarters. They have not scored a touchdown in their opening possession since the opening game of the season. They wear orange, but their receivers are green.
Oh, they sure are. You look at the vast difference between Sean Gore now leading that group and the numbers put up by G. Simon and Arland Bruce in terms of career yardage. Sean Gore in just his second full season as a starter. We teased him before this game. He's now the old man of the bunch.
Flags fly here. False start. Some pressure on the defenders tonight as well, especially with Andrew Harris in the backfield.
Yeah, no question, but one guy who has stepped up, as you heard Jock Climby allude to in the pregame, Charleston Hughes. 7 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, leading the Stampeders in all of those categories. Having an outstanding season. Juwan Simpson, of course, in the middle of that defense, as always, leads the Stamps with 60 tackles. Keon Raymond, that boundary corner. He's a guy who's played everywhere in the secondary, doing a good job over there this season.
Penalty puts the Lions back, 1st and 15. Oh, nice grab. And Nick Moore redeems himself. Over the shoulder catch inside the red zone, close to the 15-yard line.
And you've got to love the bounce back here from Nick Moore after dropping what would have been a bit of a tough catch earlier. But Travis Lulay shows some faith, goes right back to him. And Nick Moore showing a little veteran moxie, shaking off the last one to come up with a difficult reception. Lions pressing. As you said earlier, Rod, haven't scored an opening TD drive since week 1.
All alone is Moore. Inside the 10-yard line. The Lions can get to the 5 and then go first and goal if they don't get to the house. So very good chance here as they sniff the goal line to bring an end to that drought. Travis Lulay, of course, riding an impressive streak, 24 straight games. Second all-time in the CFL touchdown passes. Sam Echeverry's record, 34 in a row. Lulay has gone 24 in a row with at least one touchdown toss. 2nd and 2. Harris in the backfield, play action. Lulay will throw it up, and Sean Gore keeps the streak alive. Touchdown, BC. 25 straight games. Touchdown pass from Travis Lulay.
Well, this is Travis Lulay progressing through his reads perfectly. Number 1 option is going to be Courtney Taylor. Number 2 is Sean Gore. Taylor's got the shallow route in the flat. You can see Lulay's got his head there. He's covered. So instantly, he's looking deep for number 2. Sean Gore headed to the corner. Puts it on the money. The 3rd-year man out of Bishops. Former 2nd-round pick. Gives the BC Lions an opening drive touchdown.
Exactly what Mike Benavides talked about yesterday. Getting off to a quicker start. 8-play, 80-yard drive. Travis Lulay's streak now 25 in a row. The BC Lions have a 7-3 lead over the visiting Calgary Stampeders.
Hey Vicky, Unique, Jude, and Zephy. Miss y'all.
The former Bishop Gator, native of Toronto, Sean Gore, 5th touchdown of the season. Travis Lulay connecting 25 straight games now as he continues to march towards a record that I think a lot of people thought would be untouchable. Sam Echeverry back in the 50s. And Paul McCallum, an onside kick. Will it go 10 yards? It will not. And we were at practice in Surrey yesterday, and the BC Lions were working on onside kicks a lot.
Yeah, spent a lot of time on it. Apparently not quite enough. That one didn't get the bounce Paul McCallum was looking for. Heads up play there by the veteran Ryan Phillips, knowing he can't touch this unless it goes 10 yards. And clearly, you see how long it took the Calgary Stampeders to get here. I mean, you watch as Ryan Phillips has all sorts of time to wait, but just can't touch the ball because it doesn't get far enough. It's a great call. Just unfortunately, the execution didn't work out perfectly.
Lions recorded an onside kick late in the game in Regina. Almost were able to pull out a huge comeback. John Cornish, first touch. CFL rushing leader. Last time these teams met, Lions walked over the Stampeders, and they held this guy in serious check.
John Cornish, only 6 carries in that ball game as the run game was entirely ineffective. You see him getting into it with the BC defense a little bit, but John Cornish knows he's going to have a busy weekend on the field and off here in BC, home for Thanksgiving dinner with family, but also his 10-year high school reunion at St. Thomas More High School in New Westminster. That's going on this weekend as well, and he plans to attend.
He's got his best buddy as well, who's celebrating a birthday, and Cornish lights it up going up the middle, close to the 20-yard line for the #1 rusher in the Canadian Football League. Let's go down to Farhan.
Yeah, it may be a little easier for John Cornish right now, as it looks like Eric Taylor is doubtful to return. They examined him for a knee injury, but he passed all of those tests. Then when he tried to test it, his ankle started giving him a problem, so now they believe it's a high ankle sprain, and if it is, he won't be back.
Tough blow again without Khalif Mitchell for another game. So Brandon Jordan's going to get some time in the interior. Direct snap to Cornish, 3rd straight carry inside the 15-yard line. John Cornish comes home Thanksgiving Day weekend. Gets to see his family and his friends and a lot of his ex-schoolmates. 10-year reunion, as you mentioned. Dwayne, busy time for the young man. Terrific feature on a guy who clearly maybe one of the smartest running backs who's ever played in the CFL.
I'm not going to limit it to running backs. You just say smartest people.
Great feature in the pregame show. Here he goes again. And this time for a loss.
And that play made by number 91, Brandon Jordan. This guy's an absolutely fascinating story. Played as an offensive lineman, weighing close to 400 pounds at the University of Illinois. Shows up at a Lions free agent camp in the offseason, down to about 270. Twice for Coach Rich Stubler. Runs 40-yard dashes in the 4.5s. Lions sign him, bring him to camp as a D lineman. They look at him as a project. Didn't want him to have to play immediately, but injuries have forced him into the lineup. But looks like he's ready to go.
Rene Parrott is ready to go tonight too. 2 for 2. 1-point game. Presents Engraved on a Nation, a documentary series that celebrates the 100th Grey Cup. It begins Thanksgiving Monday. The 13th man, the story of the unique love affair between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and their fiercely loyal fans, set against the backdrop of the historical 97th Grey Cup when the 13th man was omnipresent. The 13th man premieres Thanksgiving Monday on TSN. 7-6. Lions lead, scoring on their opening drive. 2 field goals from that guy, Rene Paredes. And the second series for the Lions upcoming. Tim Brown.
35, Tim Brown.
And another start from near the 35-yard line for Travis Lulay and his Lions offense. Now, the last time the Lions played without one of their veteran superstar, future Hall of Famer receivers, Geroy Simon, was a few weeks ago against the Montreal Alouettes, and it wasn't too shabby of a night for Lulay and the Lions.
No, Lulay and the rest of the offense got things going pretty well. Nick Moore, once again, was the guy who stepped in place of the injured Geroy Simon. He tweaked a hamstring last week against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but in that game, Nick Moore ended up with 6 catches, 64 yards, and his first touchdown of the season.
Speaks to the depth of the Lions, the defending Grey Cup champions, but having Geroy Simon out and having Arland Bruce out is considerably different than having one of those guys out. Arland Bruce had a big night as well in that Montreal game.
Yeah, absolutely. Bruce ended up with 2 touchdowns in that ball game.
Lions fans, we're having some technical difficulties. That's why the scoreboard.
Some technical difficulties, so they'll whistle back in.
Italy back up and running.
Clock.
Soon. We hope.
Ring around BC Place is not operating inside. We have our clock though on screen, so fortunate to be on the couch tonight. Lulay gunning. Looking for Kier Johnson, stride for stride with Keon Raymond.
Both Kier Johnson and Nick Moore ended up in the same vicinity. You got to believe that there was a bust from one of the two on that play, and this is one of the risks you run with a couple of less experienced receivers. Moore took an outside release on that route. You wonder if they're both going vertical, if he's supposed to keep that to the inside, create some separation.
Charleston Hughes was in the backfield. He jumped.
Procedure.
But it was procedure against BC.
Number 54. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Dean Valley. Illegal procedure. So it's going to be second down. Here are the 2 most efficient teams in second down conversions here tonight. The Lions and the Stampeders. Second and long, though. Lulay running now, has to run out of trouble, and he takes a hit from Eric Fraser along the sideline. Protection has been paramount for the Lions too. They have not given up a sack in 3 games. Lule had to run for his life that time. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, and what Lule does with his legs is a big part of the BC Lions having allowed the fewest sacks in the Canadian Football League. His mobility gets him out of a lot of trouble. Helps out that offensive line.
2 returners back. Paul McCallum. Under 3 to play here, opening quarter. 42-year-old ageless kicker. And Jason Armstead brought down very quickly. J.R. LaRose with the special teams tackle.
What up, everybody? We in the building. Woo.
Time special teams play it. All about who wants it more, who wants to be a little more physical, who wants to get a little bit nastier.
I'm gonna check it out later on tonight. See how sweet it looks. Too big for them boys. We gotta put somebody bigger on them.
So the Stampeders, 2.5 to go here, first quarter.
We're reading, guys, reading.
Scored on their 2 series field goals. Down 1. 5 receivers set. Cornish in the backfield. Cornish goes out now. Little screen pass and running room for John Cornish. Koshi Mwamba eventually knocks him out of bounds. And like Andrew Harris, something that John Cornish can do. He's very adept at receiving that football. A dual threat.
Well, he sure is. Cornish over the last couple of years.
.153 straight games with at least 1 reception. Leads the CFL coming into this week in number of receptions, 78 on the year. 4th in receiving yardage. Another great year for the veteran Nick Lewis.
Nick Lewis on the verge of reaching his 9th straight 1,000-yard season here in the CFL. He's reached that mark every year. G. Roy Simon, on the other hand, his 9-year run of 1,000-yard seasons in jeopardy, particularly with the injury taking him out tonight.
Serious jeopardy. Says he's likely going to be back next week. Glenn slings it up for the sideline. Incomplete. And that will bring out the Stampeder punt team.
Well, after a quick start for Kevin Glenn, particularly on that opening series, throwing the football so well, things have bogged down a little bit. The BC defense, for the most part, settling in.
It's a guy who had so many great years here with the BC Lions. Dave Dickinson now running the offense for the Calgary Stampeders. Rob Maver. High kick. And Tim Brown bounced off his own teammate to the 15-yard line. Well, on Thanksgiving weekend, we can give thanks to a lot of things. And special thank you, I'm sure, to that guy, Rich Stubler, longtime defensive guru, who shows that, you know, he's got the plays, but he's got a big heart too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does. And there you see in the number 33 jersey, a young man by the name of Dylan Batty. He's displayed a great deal of courage. Rich Stubler doing some pregame introductions. Dylan, despite having had his leg amputated, having lost a battle with cancer, Dylan Batty has persevered, returned to the football field wearing a prosthetic leg.
And Andrew Harris motors up the middle to the 45-yard line, and Dylan Batty wearing that number 33 on cue.
Well, he sure is. And Dylan will be proud over there. Dylan playing high school football, 18-year-old at Lord Tweedsmuir High School here in Vancouver.
The linebacker. Coach Stubler went and watched him play. Great night for that young man. Good drive here for the Lions, thanks to Harris. Final play, first quarter. Oh, leaping high, coming down with it, Nick Moore. And that should be the last play, opening quarter. Close one so far tonight. 7-6 Lions on the move. Playoff-like atmosphere here in BC Place Stadium tonight. Kind of like a playoff-like game. Lions and Stampeders very close so far, and as advertised, the Canadian running backs are doing it.
Yeah, they sure are. You see between the two teams combined 240 net yards in offense. Harris and Cornish have combined for about 100 of that so far, so doing exactly as suggested. Each guy a huge part of his team's offensive scheme.
These teams will meet again once more in the regular season. How much of a statement game, we say that a lot lately, don't we? Statement game. How much of a statement game is it for the Stamps here tonight?
Well, it's statement game in the sense that, as the Stampeders have said throughout the week, the team they were the last time they played the BC Lions is not who they are. What they showed on the field in that game is far short of what they are, and they want to demonstrate otherwise. But much bigger than that, they want to share a first place with this game.
Huge implications on this one tonight. Andrew Harris again. So almost half the first down yardage, about 4 or 5 yards on that run.
Again, 4, 2nd and 6.
Harris, for a guy who's not a big back, picks up a lot of yards after that first contact, rarely brought down by the first defender.
His coming out party, of course, the Grey Cup game, most outstanding Canadian in this building last November. Here's the heat. Lulay throws it. There's Harris underneath it. And still on his feet, Andrew Harris. What a run, what a play after the catch. Andrew Harris, who leads the Canadian Football League in yards after catch, shows you why.
Well, this play is going to take a little bit of time to develop for Andrew Harris to sneak out into the flat. But Travis Lulay hangs in, buys himself some time under pressure. Because of the blitz, Andrew Harris is uncovered. But Travis Lulay has to buy a little time with Malik Jackson blitzing to wait for Harris to get to the spot. And this, as you see out in space, out in the pass game, this to me is where Andrew Harris is at his most dangerous.
Lulay, red zone again, looking end zone, he has a man! Touchdown, and Nick Moore! What a strike! Nick Moore's second touchdown as a Lion.
And Nick Moore caught a break just as he started to cut to the corner on this route. The defender loses his footing. There's Moore. He's got the defender on him. Man-to-man coverage. He leads it to the inside. That foot gets tangled just a little bit. trips on the calf or on the heel of Nick Moore. And down goes the linebacker, Chris Randall, leaving the slot open in the end zone.
Nick Moore, his older brother, I'm sure, is tweeting out tonight. New Orleans Saint, his older brother, Lance Moore. Be proud of him right now. Touchdown, Lions, 14-6. Former University of Toledo Rocket. Nick Moore, 5 games last year, 5 catches, and his second touchdown of 2012 wearing orange.
Yeah, this is a nice route by Nick Moore, taking advantage of the fact that the linebacker, Chris Randall, is playing that inside leverage. He leans on him to the inside a bit. Incidental contact takes the defender down.
Oh, Keon Raymond ripped down by Jason Araki. That will be a penalty. Just took his head off. Clothesline, face mask, whatever you want to call that. To see the replay, they're saying it was on the shoulder pad. Let's see.
Unnecessary roughness. BC, number 45. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
Stick your hand out. Whoa, right across the neck it looked like. Jason saw the replay and realized, yep, I think I was a little high there.
Yeah, not a face mask, but a little bit of cartoon violence.
So with the penalty, the Stamps start at their own 50. Down 8 points here. Penalty flag.
No play.
Like offside.
Offside. Calgary, number 17. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Take a look back on the BC Lions sideline. This is Jason Araki's response to the penalty flag.
Whoops.
I don't know.
This is football.
First and 15 after the penalty against the Stampeders. Glenn having a hard time with the noise now. Pump fake over the top. And Nick Lewis keeps that consecutive streak alive. Solomon Alaminian in the game, number 56. With the tackle.
Keep an eye on the defensive halfback, Ryan Phillips. He knows exactly what play is coming. Recognize it, but he's trying to time it to blitz into the backfield to go after him. But as Kevin Glenn held on to the football, Phillips eyeing the quarterback, just got caught, eyes in the backfield. Kevin Glenn ended up putting it over his head, but a great read by the veteran DB.
2nd and 9. Looked like BC jumped. Glenn goes down, buried. And now some rough stuff. Brandon Jordan, his first game, gets into it and takes an unnecessary roughness penalty, probably right here. See how this is called by our referee Kim Murphy tonight. Karan Williams looked like he jumped off the rush side.
Well, Karan Williams all over the offensive tackle.
Nick Lewis looked like he was offside as well. And then this, a guy who used to weigh 400 pounds. And John Gott got his hand in the grill of Jordan. And then piled into him. A lot to sort out here.
Offside. Calgary, number 82. Major foul, unnecessary roughness. BC, number 91. Automatic first down, up 10 yards.
So Lewis flagged for the offside, but it was Brandon Jordan, again, the 24-year-old, 6'5" behemoth. Filling in for the injured Eric Taylor right now. Instant field position now for Kevin Glenn in the Stamps. A little hitch screen out to Lewis. Veteran Corey Banks wraps him up and brings him down.
The Calgary Stampeders looking to try and benefit a little bit here from a couple of penalties. First of all, a 15-yarder on Jason Araki on that kickoff return, followed by another one from Brandon Jordan. Got to make the most of the opportunities. Statistics show you get those major penalties, dead ball fouls. Typically, it puts the offense in a much, much better situation to score.
2nd and 8. Here's the rush. Glenn's in trouble. Penalty flag, likely a holding call. And right at the first down marker, he hooks up with Nick Lewis. That flag, though, was in the vicinity normally where there's an offensive lineman holding someone.
It looked like it may have been the Jermichael Dean, possibly on the twisting Karan Williams.
Kevin Glenn did well to avoid the sack.
Calgary, number 94. Major foul. Roughing the passer. BC, number 91.
Wow.
Automatic first down.
Brandon Jordan at the end of that got too close to Kevin Glenn, so let's take a look.
Keep an eye first on Karan Williams. Looping around. Jermichael Dean's got to get off that inside block and come around to get Karan Williams. Doesn't get off in time. Has to grab him to try and slow him up a little bit.
And Brandon Jordan, a little too amped up here. John Cornish plows up the middle. Cornish still on his feet. Continues to pile up the yardage here tonight, and another penalty at the end of the play, and Brandon Jordan is in the middle of it again. The Stampeders have peeled off 3 first downs, all because of penalty. And Brandon Jordan is going to the sideline.
After the play, major foul. Calgary, number 96. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So this time goes against the Calgary Stampeders. See what happened there. Sends them back to the 40-yard line. First and 10. Land passes it, and Mike Benavides makes the catch. Out of bounds for Kevin Glenn.
We'll go back and take a look at the penalty call. This goes against number 66, the tackle Stanley Bryan. He's coming in looking to help out John Cornish in this pile. Trips over the leg of Koshi Mwamba and ends up falling into Ryan Phillips. I think for the official, probably seeing that peripherally, it looked as if he was taking a late shot at guys standing around the pile. Just an unfortunate break, unfortunate call for the Calgary Stampeders there.
Issue for the Stampeders tonight. Their inability to get it to the house, get close to the red zone. Glenn now over the top, and it is picked off by Dante Marsh. First turnover of the game. Dante Marsh with his 3rd pick of the season. Just when the Stampeders were driving the ball, the Lions snuff it out, leading by 8.
Well, the intended receiver on this play is the outside man, Mo Price, but he's going to get jammed by Dante Marsh on the play. As a result, he ends up colliding with the man covering the number 2 receiver. That's Lynn J. Shell coming downhill trying to get to Johnny Forzani. That collision takes him off his course, slows him down just enough that he can't get to the ball. Marsh can. Not good enough for John Huffnagel. He's absolutely giving it to his receiving group over on the sidelines.
Lions set up shop after the turnover at their 30. Certainly has been a showdown, not only of the top 2 teams in the West tonight, but a showdown of these marquee Canadian tailbacks who have been monitoring each other's progress this season, yet have yet to meet each other.
Yeah, exactly. John Cornish says, as these guys have traded some congratulatory and supportive messages as fellow Canadian running backs this season via Twitter. They've never met in person. other than Cornish having tackled Harris on special teams in the past.
2nd and 6. Lule stands in, and then he gets hit as he threw the football.
Charleston Hughes, his usual disruptive force along the offensive line. A little bit of help there as well from Kenny Petway.
Defense is starting to stiffen here in the 2nd quarter. And close to the midway point. After the offenses seem to have their way early on. Paul McCallum with 2 returners back for the Stampeders. Guy who has speed kills tattooed on his leg. Jason Armstead, CFL nomad. This could be blocked almost. McCallum got dealt. This will come back and will be BC football. Flags everywhere, no yards, but Paul McCallum got hammered as he hunted the football, very close to having it blocked.
And McCallum, the veteran, he knows how to make sure he sells this as well.
And
that leg up for a little while, make sure you go down.
Contacting the kicker. Calgary. No yards. BC. Be a 5-yard penalty up. It'll be 3rd down repeated.
42 years old, 20 seasons in the league, thousands of yards kicking.
And no, the call is contacting the kicker, not roughing the kicker. So it's going to still be 3rd down, not enough yardage for the 1st down, whereas a roughing the kicker call would have moved the sticks automatically for the BC Lions. Slightly more incidental contact there by Keenan McDougall, former University of Saskatchewan Huskies star.
They were bringing it, though. They were bringing some heat to McCallum that time. So a reboot. Confusion here for the Lions. Trying to get their personnel on the field.
There could be a quick discussion as to whether to get the offense out there and go for it. It's about 3rd and a yard. I'm not sure Mike Benavides will take that gamble given the field position inside their own 45-yard line.
Just looks like maybe a little more than a yard for a 1st down, but
After the penalty, it's 3rd and 1.
Callum's having a chuckle. Now only 1 returner back this time for the Stamps. A little bigger fortress this time. Bursting outside, yet another penalty flag. There's been a lot of nylon on the field here so far tonight. We'll sort it out when we come back to Vancouver. A lot of pressure, but sackless so far tonight. Our sack tally brought to you by Purelator, tackling hunger across Canada. Check.
BC Lions in their usual place near the top of the Canadian Football League in that category. Calgary Stampeders, led by Charleston Hughes 7, making their way up.
Kevin Glenn in his 200th CFL game. His first came back in August 2001 as a member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Told me before tonight's game it was not a memorable night passing, no touchdowns, great yardage, but his Roughriders that night beat the Toronto Argonauts, who were quarterbacked by Kerwin Bell at the time. You know, you've played in this league for a while when you throw out the name Kerwin Bell.
Yeah, Kevin Glenn, one of the veterans, a guy who's been something of a survivor. Underrated for a lot of his Canadian Football League career.
Saskatchewan to Winnipeg to Hamilton to Calgary to serve as a backup, and now the starter. Throws it out to Johnny Forzani, who has a 1st down. Brought down by Ryan Phillips. 2nd catch of the night. for Johnny Forzani.
Kevin Glenn, what a great insurance policy he's turned out to be with Drew Tate missing a chunk of the season. Tate back on the roster now as the Stamps' #3 quarterback, still trying to work his way back to 100%. Kevin Glenn, of course, acquired as part of the Henry Burris trade to be an insurance policy. Let's bear in mind, this is a guy who a couple of years ago was one of the best players in the Canadian Football League.
Kevin Glenn's pass is complete.
Romby Bryant hauls in his first pass of the night. 4-yard pickup.
Well, this is part of the great fit for Kevin Glenn within this Calgary Stampeder offense and in their dressing room, as well as the fact that you look at the starting receiving corps, and he's got some familiarity with guys like Romby Bryant, with whom he played in Winnipeg. Marquay McDaniel caught nearly 1,000 yards worth of passes from Kevin Glenn in a season in Hamilton. Instant chemistry with some of those pass catchers.
Second down, Cornish. And there is the defensive player of the week again. Adam Bighill coming off a 13-tackle performance in a loss in Saskatchewan last week. Adam Bighill's been a defensive player of the week 4 times this season.
And so much said about the great season, the terrific tackle numbers that J.C. Sherrod has posted up in Edmonton. But I think Adam Bighill has made a real strong case for himself this season as the top defensive player in the West. This is a guy who's done a little bit of everything. Leads the Lions in interceptions, gets involved in both coverage and the pass rush. And he is his league's second leading tackler coming into this week, behind only J.C. Sherrod.
Tim Brown with a little juke and jive, and then he's brought down at the 25-yard line. Lions leading 14-6. Closed captioning is brought to you by Gibson's 100th Grey Cup commemorative whiskey, available now in limited supply at local liquor stores. Talking about Gibson's finest players of the week, Travis Lulay has been down that road before. Talked about Adam Bighill winning the award 4 times. Last BC Lion to do something like that was Cam Wake, who did it 3 times. Coincidentally, the NFL Pro Defensive Player of the Week this week, Cam Wake.
Nice string of great defenders here in BC. Guys taking their turns being the best defenders on what has been the CFL's best defense.
It's all about the starts. According to head coach Mike Benavides, has to be happier here tonight.
We got to play better early. A lot of times, you know, in the second half, tremendous response. When I break down the game, I tell the team the second half we won, but the first half we were terrible. And you can't win that way. So we just got to be good through the entire duration of the game.
And they seem to be taking care of business pretty well in the early going here. Really just hope they can continue and build on the momentum of the great start they've had, carry that through into the second 30 minutes.
Touchdown passes from Lulay to Sean Gore and Nick Moore. 14 points on the board. Under 5 to play. Direct snap to Andrew Harris. Taking a page out of the Stampeders book. They did that earlier with John Cornish. And Harris rumbling close to the first down marker.
And we knew Andrew Harris was fast, but Ben Archibald, the big left tackle,
yes,
got things moving pretty well there to get out in front on that play as well.
It's a big convoy. Archibald, the 2010 most outstanding lineman, 2-time CFL All-Star. Really helped solidify this line for the Lions. Former Stampeder. Mike Riley comes in, short yardage situation here. 2nd and 1. Cluster formation. Riley is going to have to keep plowing away. Second effort and third effort, but let's see where the spot is. They might give him progression, but it didn't look like he got there.
A couple of helmets popped off in that scrum. Pat Kabongo and Corey Mace going head-to-head. Both blew their tops.
There's Kabongo and Mace. Corey Mace, this is a big night for him. Coming back home. Use up about 40 tickets for family and friends. It's the first time he's been able to play here at this stadium. He's a homeboy from Vancouver, Corey Mace. Since he played when he was 16 years old the last time he played here.
Yeah, playing in a high school game at the time from Port Moody, BC, by way of the University of Wyoming.
Played for the Coquitlam Falcons as a 16-year-old, but just hasn't had a chance to play the last couple of years. Torn Achilles last year, could not make it for this game. So,
well, Rod, you started to allude a little earlier to some of the outstanding player voting, and it's getting to that home stretch in the season where we start to think about some of those things as we see the veteran center Angus Reid down on the field. But you've got a feeling, with all due respect to the great season that Montreal linebacker Shea Emery has had over in the East, that the most outstanding Canadian award is going to come down to whichever one of these guys ends up getting the nomination in the West. Here we see them going head-to-head, and it's every bit as tight as we expect that ballot to be in a few weeks.
of course, that ballot has always been East versus West, but you kind of feel that maybe they should open it up a little bit, particularly when you have some conflicts with players who are doing great things in the West, as we saw last year.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's multiple guys in the West, multiple guys in the East, multiple guys on the same team. I mean, the change that I would honestly love to see, I'd love to see 3 finalists, regardless of team, regardless of division, regardless of anything, for all the awards. Let the 3 best guys go head-to-head. Because sometimes the awards can become a little bit anticlimactic sometimes when you have to go through your team first and then through your division before you get to a finalist. It can become a bit of a foregone conclusion at times, and I don't think that's the way it should be.
So now the Lions, after that injury to Angus Reid, we're going to have to get Farhan to give us an update. That could be a critical blow here to the Lions. Ball bounces out of bounds. 3.5 to go. Well, Dwayne, you and I were in this building in November last year. Last time I saw a game, Vanier Cup was one of the greatest football games ever played. You can't script this. This year's Vanier Cup game will be played at Rogers Center. Friday night of Grey Cup weekend. Tickets now available. Just $51 at vaniercup.ca. The 2012 Vanier Cup game will feature the future stars of the CFL.
Still lots of football to be played in the CIS, but it looks like many of the usual suspects could be on a collision course for the Final Four, including the defending champion McMaster Marauders, ranked #1 in the country.
Cornish again, and Kareem Smith is there. Seeing the highlight reel of that Vanier Cup brings back some memories, doesn't it? What a magical night that was. A precursor to the Lions winning the Grey Cup on Sunday, but that Friday night game will go down as one of the greatest at any level.
Yeah, no question. Everything you could ask for.
3-minute warning before halftime. Stampeders trying to get to the end zone. 2 field goals on the board. That's it so far. October, Saturday night. And Kevin Glenn dodges one and throws it to the sideline. Closest person to that ball was John Hufnagel, his head coach.
Yeah, Kevin Glenn again under all sorts of pressure from that Lions defensive line, just forced to throw it away. Made sure he got it past the line of scrimmage and out of bounds. Jabbar Westerman, the #2 overall pick. The 2012 CFL draft out of Eastern Michigan. Played his high school football at Notre Dame Secondary in Brampton.
Brother in the NFL, Jamal. Rob Maver. And having to come up on this football, Tim Brown has been held largely in check. There's a no yards call on the play. Question mark right now for the Lions. They're already banged up, and now their center is on the sideline. Here's Farhan.
Yeah, guys, it might have been the most comical exchange between doctors, trainers, and patient. Angus Reid virtually deadpanned everything, said to the doctor, yes, that hurts, don't do that again. Didn't cry, there was no agony. It's an ankle injury. They are going to try to tape it and potentially go back in the second half, but right now he does not have a shoe on that foot, so he's not in for this series. Dean Valley will go to center, and he was injured earlier this year. He had earlier this game, I should say, with a thigh bruise. Jesse Newman also goes in at the other guard spot. His first game of the season for the Lions on the O-line.
And it looks like they made a little change of plans since the discussion on the sidelines as Adam Babulis is in at center. Valley remains at guard.
Some deception there. Lule decides to tuck it, but only a couple yards. Travis Lule uses his feet when he does run. Second leading rusher for the Lions. Averages 7.1 yards per carry, but not that time.
Well, a big part of your game plan when you face the BC Lions has to do with containing Travis Lule in the run game. We've seen him reel off some monsters and, quite frankly, change games simply by what he does when he decides to pull that ball down and take off.
And the BC Lions, again, without Angus Reid at center. And a procedure call here.
Procedure. BC number 54. It's a 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Stampeders caught it right away.
There's right guard Dean Valley. Twitches early. Lule was trying to draw the defense as he sent the receivers in motion towards the line of scrimmage, trying to use the long count and that motion to draw the defense offside. Valley just twitched a little bit. And a hard count from his quarterback.
Veteran from local Simon Fraser. High snap. Here's the rush. Lule hangs in and over the top. And again, Nick Moore, who has been the threat. And there is a penalty behind the play. Von Olafioye.
Olafioye was into it with Kenny Petway well behind the play. Gave him a late shove and popped Petway's helmet off. An official standing right there, well behind the play.
Olafioye, an all-star last year. Western nominee for outstanding lineman.
BC number 63, Calgary number 36. After the play, it'll be a first down.
So after all that, it's still a first down. There's Olafioye, the hulking lineman.
And well behind the play, as you see in the bottom corner, Olafioye and Petway, and the official right beside them. Pretty easy call. He was willing to let the two of them push and shove a little bit, but once the hand came to the helmet, flag's got to fly.
Of all the places to have an altercation. Official right in their pocket, and again, had a lot of whistles, a lot of flags here, kind of disrupting the continuity from earlier on. Both teams guilty here of jumping.
Procedure. BC number 54. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Once again, Dean Valley caught again.
It's the third time Valley has been flagged. One of the veterans, one of the stalwarts on that offensive line, Patrick Kabongo, not regularly a starter at left guard, and of course the center, Adam Babulis, into the lineup for Angus Reid right now.
So it's 1st and 15 after that. Here's the rush. There goes Lule. Lule bursting outside. First down, and then pushed out of bounds. Travis Lule with a big burst outside around the edge. Charleston Hughes couldn't catch him.
Well, usually it's Andrew Harris getting a handoff from Travis Lule in the run game. Here it's Andrew Harris with the block, giving a little assist to his quarterback Lule to get around the edge and reach that first down marker.
Big play by Lule. 2 minutes to go before halftime. Tight formation this time. Looks to the far side and out of bounds again.
Travis Luley's pass out of bounds.
Bit of a broken play that time for the Lions.
Yeah, Travis Luley just with a pure throwaway there. As things didn't shake up downfield as he had expected. Looked like they may have had a screen on to Andrew Harris off to the left that got picked up.
Passing down again, 2nd and 10. Luley again. And down to the 25-yard line. And Courtney Taylor makes his first catch from the Canadian Football League. What a story this guy is.
Yeah, Taylor, you heard Dave Randorf talk about him in the pregame show. A guy who had spent some time in the NFL, was with the Seattle Seahawks. And after a twitch near his eye, it was discovered that he had a form of multiple sclerosis. That led to his eventual release from the Seahawks, but he's found his way back into professional football late last season with the Leos. Getting a chance here today in place of Arlen Bruce.
Luley dancing around now, looking for someone who's going to take it again and step out of bounds with a little extra shove. Goes to the first down marker again. Nobody home for Travis Luley. Everybody covered, but he picked up 8 yards.
And Carl McCartney, young Canadian linebacker, usually a special teams stalwart, in on the tackle. Great late round pick for the Stampeders back in 2010. He's among the league's leaders in special teams tackles that year. Native of the Bahamas. Went to private school at St. Andrews College in Toronto. Went there. Was initially involved in swimming. Decided he didn't like those cold mornings going to the
Calgary.
pool. Turned himself into a football player.
Minute 16 to go here. 2nd quarter. It'll be 2nd and 2. Stamps take a timeout. Coming up, talked about boys in the studio. GMC Live at the half. Boys will be talking turkey in the studio.
Making a list of people I wouldn't want raising my children. The guys in the picture, not the guys in the studio.
Oh, okay. Gotta hand it down. Come on, man. How you become a fan? You
Gotta support the team.
Gotta support it. You know, then eventually wear a pumpkin on your head. Ellen's in Saskatchewan. Pumpkins here. Andrew Harris battles for the first down yardage and a fresh set of downs here for the Lions. BC Lion team that's led for most of the season in almost every defensive statistical category, but also leaders in a lot of the offensive categories as well. Net offense per game, rushing offense per game. Red zone numbers are quite good. Trying to put some more points on the board before halftime. Luley, corner route. And looking for Courtney Taylor, looking for a flag, and he got one. It's like an interference call.
Chris Randall, rookie Sam linebacker for the Calgary Stampeders, back in coverage again.
Pass interference. Calgary number 28 in goal. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
So down to the 1-yard line.
Flag goes on the halfback, Brandon Smith, on the play.
Lions hovering again. Mike Riley comes in. Luley goes to the sideline for the short yardage play. We see a chance to put up 21 points before halftime.
Back up, back.
Mbala and Harris in the backfield. Harris gets it and gets stuffed and lost a yard or two. Read perfectly that time. Keon Raymond, Malik Jackson in on the tackle.
Well, a couple of the veterans of that Calgary Stampeder defense step up. Raymond right in the bottom corner of your screen, but it starts Number 39, Charleston Hughes, the guy who stacked up the block. Sean Gore comes across the formation. He's trying to kick out Hughes. Hughes stacked things up. So there was no push downfield. That held up Harris enough. Buy some time for Malik Jackson, Keon Raymond to come up in secondary support on the play.
Stampeders got their personnel in late here. High snap, ball's down, Lule has it, and he goes down. And so it all goes wrong as Travis Lule came back in. And this goes back to Angus Reid not being in the game, of course, and new center over that ball. High snap that time, and the best the Lions will do here now is a field goal.
Yeah, this one gets away. And Adam Babula snap gets up high over the head of Lule. Fortunately, the pigskin takes a BC bounce into the arms of Lule, centers it up for Paul McCallum. If you're looking for positives.
Yeah, there goes to show you there are no gimmies. That looked like it was almost a sure thing for the Lions to get into the end zone. It's not. Riley comes into hole now for McCallum. The 22, Paul McCallum boots it through. And the lead is extended to 11 points. And just one play remains in the first half. There's the guy who is the center of attention now. If Angus Reid can't come back, Adam Babulis of St. Mary's, a 6th round pick of the BC Lions back in 2010.
It's, you know, ironic. You see Adam Babulis, a young guy, in there at center. And we spent some time yesterday talking to Angus Reid, and he talked about how much of a benefit experience is for a guy playing center. All the information that you have to process, as he said. I mean, you sort of make 5 or 6 different decisions and sometimes have to make adjustments and change those decisions in about a 7 to 10 second span from the time you get to the line of scrimmage before the ball is snapped. And then you got to put the snap on the money. You can see with probably a lot of things running through his head, Adam Babulis, a guy who played tackle in college.
So decisions to be made for the Stamps too. They trail 17-6. The BC Lions lead. GMC Live of the half is next. BC Lions lead the Calgary Stampeders 17-6 as we head to the second half here tonight at BC Place Stadium in Vancouver. Here's Farhan Lalji now with Keon Raymond of the Stamps.
Keon, when you face a receiving core that doesn't have Geroy Simon and Arland Bruce, who do you key on? Because it seems they've moved the ball around well.
You know what? The biggest thing with a veteran quarterback like them is he's just gonna find open guys to try to get matchups. You know, without them having Arland and Geroy, you know, that's forcing those other guys to step up and make plays, and right now they're doing it.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Last time these two teams played, Lions 13-5 at the half. 17-6 here, and that's good news for the BC Lions. Number 64 is back.
Yeah, Angus Reid, the anchor of that offensive line, veteran center. We're having a chat with his young protege, Adam Babulis, who had a little bit of trouble with a shotgun snap late in the second quarter.
Sean Gore, one of the touchdowns. 2 touchdowns in this game, one by Gore, one by Nick Moore. As the guys in the studio talked about, no Geroy Simon, no Arland Bruce for the Lions. No worries so far. They still have the lead. Second of 3 meetings on the season. These teams will meet in the penultimate game of the season for their 3rd meeting, and possibly in the postseason. Calgary to kick it off here. 3rd quarter underway. Tim Brown behind cover. They've done a good job on him so far, but not this time. Great blocking, and that's his best return up near the 45-yard line for Tim Brown and the BC Lions.
Well, Tim Brown looks to set up the BC Lions offense with pretty good field position after that return. Some of the Lions leaders offensively in the first half. Travis Lule, 163 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Andrew Harris, the league's leader in yards from scrimmage with 93 yards of offense. And Nick Moore playing in Geroy Simon's place in the slot. 5 catches, 83 yards. And a touchdown.
A lot of motion here for the Lions. A bit of confusion now. Lule stands in. Rolly Lumbala.
Travis Lule's pass is complete to 46 from Rolly Lumbala.
And he crashes up near the 52-yard line. Canadian fullback.
It looked like Travis Lule might have had a moment of confusion, perhaps thinking that the official located right here.
The red zone here tonight. Watches the defense score their first touchdown. The lead is now 3 for the Lions, who will bring their offense back on the field. Let's go down to the sideline once again. Here's Farhan.
Yeah, and Angus Reid will take charge of that offensive line and the huddle. Reid has injured his knee and his ankle. It's a little bit of both. Now, he doesn't like wearing a knee brace. Many offensive linemen do as a preventative measure. He doesn't, but he's got one on now, put one on at halftime, and they've also heavily taped his ankle. I asked him about it. He said, I'm not that fast anyway, so it really doesn't matter if I'm slow, as long as I'm thinking.
That's it. That's the key part of his job, is to process information, see what the defense is doing, and make calls to direct the blocking scheme.
4-point advantage here for the Lions. Andrew Harris hangs on. Angus Reid.
Change it all, get all the calls out to everybody, remember what the snap count is, and then post-snap, have to do my job of picking up wherever my player may be, twisting, directing the twist pickups. And, you know, it'd be making about 5 or 6 decisions within 3 to 5 seconds, and not just making it, but verbally communicating it to everyone around you and making sure they all heard you, they all understand you, and they're all ready to go. And finally remember to snap the ball and get it to him somewhere in the vicinity of the strike zone.
Got it to him in the strike zone this time, and then a strike thrown by Lule to Sean Gore. 8-yard gain.
And Angus Reid, along with G. Simon, the longest serving members of these BC Lions, and certainly his experience welcome in that huddle and at that center position. It's not as easy as it looks.
No.
Much more than just throwing the ball backwards between your legs.
36-year-old, 12th year in the CFL. Land around here for Keir Johnson. Again, last time these two teams met, Lions led at the half, but as Mike Benavides said, check marks this week, and one of the check marks was to get the lead at halftime and control the game in the second half. The second half has been the strong suit for his Lions this season. They've done very well in third and fourth quarters, closing out games. Little shovel now. Tim Brown. Brown takes a heavy hit from Brandon Smith right on that collarbone and kept him out of last week's game.
We've talked a lot in this game. You've heard a lot said over the last several weeks about number 39, Charleston Hughes. This is one of the things that the BC Lions have planned to try and slow down his pass rush a little bit, make him think a little bit when he's got the ears pinned back to go after Lule. Good job by the Lions quarterback to draw Hughes upfield before making that shovel, delivering the shovel to Tim Brown.
Now the end around, and Lule throws it. Ball is incomplete. Has tried a couple of laterals there, a little razzle-dazzle that absolutely fizzles.
Well, that play was doomed about 2 tosses earlier than the one that came back to Lule.
Started with the handoff to Johnson, the pitch to Gore, and then
the pick that Malik Jackson should have had. Travis Lule grabbed his ankle. That's what prevented him from catching it. Watch Lule grab the ankle of Malik Jackson as he's trying to catch this football. Tripped him up, prevented the interception.
Very close to being another turnover.
And John Huffnagel's likely trying to challenge that this was a fumble rather than an incomplete pass.
So Travis Lule will now go to the sideline and chat with his head coach. There will be a challenge here.
Calgary is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass. We will review the play.
Command center will take it from here. They get him before his arm was fully extended in a throwing motion. You be the judge.
That looks like a pretty clear
pass.
Keon Raymond gets the arm up, but I don't think he deflected this football before Lule got the arm going forward. Raymond was able to bat this ball away before the arm moved forward.
It's an incomplete pass. Second down.
That did not take long.
Easy decision.
Yeah, that might be the quickest review of the season. The call is not overturned. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And again, Lions, best in the CFL, the top 2 teams on 2nd down conversions in this game here tonight. With a check down, changes the play, and then guns again, and this one overshoots the intended targets. For Sean Gore.
Well, if the early portion of this 3rd quarter is any indication, looks like a reversal of fortune, so to speak, for the BC Lions, a group that's usually struggled in the first half and come up big in the second, but offensively sputtering since the break.
Team that's also been dynamite at home. Plus 64 at home. 5-1 at home this season, but they cling right now to a 4-point advantage.
Field making the most of the opportunity. Young receiver Nick Moore, 2nd-year man, leading the Lions in receiving here tonight in place of G-Roy Simon, and a big touchdown catch.
Our game changer in the stands, that fellow in the orange #1 jersey, Jeff Moore, who's helped out with Firefighters Without Borders. He's delivered firefighting gear to countries in need. He's won a Queen's Jubilee medal for his fundraising efforts and has been around the world donating firefighting gear. Congratulations to Jeff Moore, our game changer. Markway McDaniel, who caught the first pass from Kevin Glennon, has not been heard from since. But not hang on there. Stampeders offense still has been stuck in neutral from the early going.
Well, John Cornish, as he has been for the last couple months, has been somewhat productive on the ground given the opportunity. I'd look for the Stampeders to lean on him a little bit more here to get things going in the 3rd quarter.
2nd down, 5 of 11 tonight. Best 2nd down receiver in the CFL is Nick Lewis. They go over the top for John Cornish, and the BC defense, Adam Bighill, comes up big again.
Quick stop here for the Lions, led by their middle linebacker, number 44, Bighill. See him flowing with the play at 2nd level to pick up Cornish. Right there, textbook. Pass defense there. Another part of his game that's rapidly improving.
He is a coach's dream, is he not?
Oh, sure is.
In on every play, it seems. Should be good field position now for the Lions. Tim Brown.
35, Tim Brown.
And the Lions will start here from near the BC, from the Calgary 50-yard line. 17-13 here. 8:44 to go in the 3rd. Now TSN, the home of NFL Sunday Night Football, Week 5 matchup. Sees the 3-1 San Diego Chargers in New Orleans taking on Drew Brees and the 0-4 Saints. Live coverage gets underway tomorrow, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN and TSN Radio. Lule with a slant. And up near the 40-yard line, making his 2nd catch as a Lion is Courtney Taylor. Wayne talked about earlier his diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. And earlier this week, Courtney Taylor He's going through an indoctrination with Travis Lulay, getting ready for his first start.
Both those young receivers, Courtney Taylor, Nick Moore, out there getting some extra reps in with the quarterbacks in preparation for their starts tonight.
Spied perfectly again is Andrew Harris. Multiple sclerosis, of course, is MS that affects the balance and coordination. There is treatment for Courtney Taylor, and he had to go through a lot of it through the years. Again, very difficult when he was with the NFL Seattle Seahawks. But there is no cure. So he has to play with this affliction.
He's found a home, found a team willing to give him an opportunity here in BC. Joined the Lions late last season and has bided his time, whether on the practice roster or predominantly as a healthy scratch on the roster. Sure making the most of the opportunity.
Middle this time. Kier Johnson will move the sticks. Down to the 27-yard line. Your buddies are loving it.
One of the things that allows this play to happen, great blitz pickup from the running back, Andrew Harris. Obscured there a little bit by the goalpost. But nice job on the twist, bumping the first man to the inside to allow the guard to get his hands on him, and then picking up the outside looper. Good communication, good execution.
Johnson watching this time. The pitch to Tim Brown. Follows Ben Archibald. Great blocking again from the left tackle.
Nice jump start there in terms of the motion as Tim Brown lines up in an offset to get a little head start on the pitch here. But there's Big Ben Archibald, number 65. CFL's 2010 most outstanding offensive lineman, then as a Calgary Stampeder.
Guy who casts a large shadow. 2nd and 2. Harris dropped again. Crucial 2nd down, and Juwan Simpson in on the tackle. Brian Bulkey there too. So now decision time. Like about 1.5 yards, so it's going to be, they may have gained about a ½ yard. It's going to be 3rd down and 1 yard here.
In this field position, this is a yard that you should be able to get. This is a gamble that I'd certainly take.
Well, they're talking with Mike Riley. No movement from Paul McCallum. They're going to measure first. Tight game. You also consider taking the points. That is a long yard.
3rd down.
Riley's coming out. And again, the guy who normally holds for McCallum is also the short yardage guy. This is a long yard here. Calgary defense has already come up with a big play here. They need another.
Mike Riley on the quarterback.
3rd and 1. Riley behind center. The option to Harris. And Andrew Harris has the 1st down. Boy, risky play call, but it worked for the Lions.
Yeah, it's a creative play call. Good play call from the Lions, knowing that with the motion on the inside, everybody's going to pack the box. Everybody's going to pitch a little bit. Knowing all you need is a yard. He didn't have to get the end. Kenny Petway to commit far upfield to give Andrew Harris enough room to take that pitch.
67 rush yards for Andrew Harris. Inside the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 15. Lulay looking end zone now. The little pitch out to Marco Iannuzzi. It's his first catch of the night.
Once again, you see the guy limiting the effectiveness of that play. Charleston Hughes, number 39, got upfield in a hurry and disrupted the path of the receiver, Marco Iannuzzi, as he tried to sneak out into the flat.
Oh, another big play again for the Stampeder defense. Chance to hold the Lions. It's 2nd down and 4. Lulay, 4 receivers to the top of your screen. It's over the top. And the catch made by Sean Gore, who comes up hurt here. And will get pulled up, but it right leg looks a little wonky right now. We're going back to the huddle. 1st and goal now for the Lions.
That right leg saw a little quiver as it sort of buckled. He tried to plant on the play.
And now he goes down. So Sean Gore is tended to here. Lions sniffing the end zone. Back in BC Place, this is your favorite time of year because there's a lot of eating at Thanksgiving weekend. We got a great cake here. This is actually Farhan Lalji's son's birthday cake. Happy birthday to Lucas, who's 4. His wife Mary came up with this great cake. And there is proud Papa and proud Mama. And I tell you what, his wife makes great cake.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mary.
There you, Mary. Here we go. Lions 1st and goal. Travis Lulay off the upright. Sean Gore, we can tell you, is suffering from a cramp in his leg, so be a chance to see him back in. But Travis Lulay hits the target. Happens to be yellow.
The throw that well, Travis Lulay maybe could make that throw if he tried.
Yes.
But the throw that most of us couldn't make if we tried, Travis Lulay does by accident off the crossbar.
9-play drive. 2.5 to go. 3rd quarter. In and out of Nick Moore's hands. Chance for a 2nd major. So the Stampeder defense comes up with a win here.
Well, bending, not breaking. Stampeder defense. What's it done? Darius Brooks, 1st-year man in coverage at the goal line.
Ooh, Nick Moore.
Just an issue of hand position. Nick Moore. And he tried to cradle that football underhand instead of getting the hands out away from the body. Extended thumbs together to catch it.
So instead of 7, Lions get 3. And the lead now is 7 between the Western rivals in BC. Welcome back to Vancouver. 9-4 Lions, 8-5 Stampeders. If the Stamps can find a way back in this game to get a win, there'll be a tie atop the West tonight. Direct snap from John Cornish. Last time these teams met, Cornish was held to -1 yard rushing. Just 2 yards on that play.
That game represented a turning point in the season for John Cornish. Week 5 of the season, just before the bye week for the Stampeders. Made some adjustments to their running game. Started getting their offensive line healthy, developed some continuity up front. Since then, his rushing numbers have skyrocketed.
Here comes the rush. Land. Marquay McDaniel can't hang on. And another 2 and out for the Stampeder offense. Just has not been able to sustain any type of momentum.
Well, the Lions, Mr. Everything defensively, Adam Bighill dropped deep in coverage to disrupt that route. along with the safety, Koshi Mwamba, who's coming downhill on the play.
Bob Maver, the punt for the Stampeders.
Just over a minute to play, third quarter. Tim Brown looks skyward. Rob Maver, spiraling kick. Brown at his 30. Slides past one, and a 15-yard penalty if it's a no yards call. It looks like it is, because Brown caught that in flight. It is no yards, and it will go against the Stampeders.
No yards. Calgary, number 42. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Instant field position for Lule and company.
A good decision on the play from Rolly Lambala, number 46. He could make an effort to block the linebacker, Duron Mayo, but passes him up, just kind of gets in the way and walls him off, but avoids throwing that block. And a clip that would have negated the no yards call on the play.
Calgary's defense has kept its team in this ball game. Lule will dump over to Andrew Harris. Another first down.
Well, the Lions with that play call created a little bit of a quandary. You see a rare opportunity where you get both Tim Brown and Andrew Harris in the backfield. So this time Brown is going to be the play action guy. That frees up Harris to be the guy releasing out into the flat. Play action fake holds everybody in the box. And all of a sudden, there's a guy who comes into the game with 60 catches wide open in the flat.
And again, all yards after the catch. Here's another, and more real estate for Andrew Harris. Fights off another would-be tackler on the final play of the third quarter. And the BC Lions, when they lead after three quarters, are 8-0 on the season. 15 minutes away from their 10th win. BC Lions, ungracious hosts, hardly gave the Calgary Stampeders the football in the third quarter. It's 20-13 Lions as we head to the fourth.
Yeah, and everywhere but on the scoreboard, you're seeing things starting to shift. That Stampeder defense is hanging tough and keeping the score close. But look at that time of possession, 28.5 minutes to about 16.5. The Lions starting to wear them down. They've put up 200 yards more of offense in this game. Kevin Glenn, John Cornish, Nick Lewis, the rest of the gang offensively need to get going here for the Calgary Stampeders before their defense collapses from exhaustion.
What's different as opposed to that last game in late July is that the Stampeders are very much still in this game. What is the same is that their offense continues to struggle. Only put up 8 points in their last meeting. The offense has only put up 6 points here tonight. Defense scoring a touchdown. Travis Lule can pad the lead here. Second down. 4 yards to go. Lule. Raheem Foster. That's his first catch of the night, and that's a first down. And let's go down to Farhan Lalji now with a guy who's got a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah, a guy who also used to spend some of his time when he was younger playing football. Could you do what these guys do?
I don't think I could do it at this level, but I definitely have an appreciation for the game. I haven't played it for a couple of years in high school.
And you're going to get a chance to play again next week with a charity game. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we're sold out. We sold out today. Tickets went on sale in the morning, and we had a great response, selling out in a couple hours. So looking forward to get back on the ice in a game-type situation, raising some good money for charity and having fun.
Yeah, the charity is kids sport. Now, as far as the lockout, what can you tell us as we've got a pass interference call in the corner here? What can you tell us what you're hearing about the state of negotiations?
Well, it hasn't been a good couple of weeks. There hasn't been a whole lot of movement from either side, so we're kind of at a stalemate once again. So we're kind of sitting back in limbo here, just kind of waiting. We're hoping to find some common ground eventually and make some progress. Most of us are optimistic that we're going to play sometime this year.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, nice time.
Kevin Bieksa of the Vancouver Canucks. A number of Canucks here tonight. Again, normally would be training camp. Courtney Taylor, pass interference call against Chris Randall. 35 yards.
Randall in a little bit early with the contact on the play. He was scrambling to recover.
Stampeders were able to hold last time when the Lions We're close to the goal line. Travis Lulay, the handoff, and the touchdown. Andrew Harris.
What terrific patience on that run from Andrew Harris. Sometimes as a young running back, you're just always in a hurry to get somewhere. End up running into the backs of your offensive line, but Andrew Harris recognizes if he's patient, just hangs for a half second in the backfield as he starts to flow, that a clear lane is going to open up right there. Throttles down, cuts it back, goes in standing up.
8th touchdown, and in our marquee matchup tonight, Andrew Harris has the edge again over John Cornish. Yardage on the ground and receiving, and now a touchdown, and the BC Lions open up a 2-touchdown lead on the visitors from Calgary. Well, John Cornish has been winning a lot of those Player of the Week and Player of the Month awards. Andrew Harris, however, has gotten the better in their battles so far.
Back in BC place, baby. Love it here.
1927, Kevin Glenn,
It's been a good home to Andrew Harris.
And his team on the verge of going 6-1 at home. Jason Armstead brought down quickly near the 40-yard line. Now it's up to John Cornish to try to ignite his team. Down 14.
And Harris getting a lot more opportunities. Think back to the end of the third quarter. You saw the time of possession. BC Lions running a lot more plays, a lot more chances, a lot more touches for Andrew Harris in this ball game. John Cornish, this entire Calgary Stampeders offense needs to have a little bit of success to provide him more chances to touch the ball.
Well, they have to continue a drive more than a couple plays. A lot of 2-and-outs. Johnny Forzani will move the sticks. You said it too about the defense for the Calgary Stampeders, and you really noticed it on that last drive. They seemed to be a little bit out of gas.
Yeah, they really did at the end, and the body language said a lot as they hobbled off the field looking absolutely exhausted as they made their way to the sidelines. Nobody's jogging over, everybody's breathing heavy. They've been on the field literally about 2/3 of the time in this ballgame.
It's up to the Calgary offense now to get some momentum. Play action, Glenn in trouble, but gets it away. Barely. Some pressure from behind as Kevin Glenn went to look deep for Marquay McDaniel.
And just overthrowing the receiver slightly. You get the sense Kevin Glenn would have liked to have held on to that football just a split second longer, but he can't because Creed Smith is on the way, forcing him to get rid of that football. You see a look of almost exasperation from the Stampeder QB.
Stampeder team that's won 5 of their last 6 games. Glenn, a wobbly pass, but Nick Lewis picks it off his shoe tops.
Nick Lewis, like so much of the Stampeder offense, has been quiet here tonight. There's his trademark out route, nice change of pace to shake the defender, Anthony Reddick. Maybe that's what Kevin Glenn needs, is a couple of receivers making some of those tough catches for him to help him out a little bit, get things going.
Again, loads of time here in the fourth quarter. Have to start finding the end zone now. Now Cornish trying to provide a spark. John Cornish finds that A gap or goes up the middle. That is quite a confrontation. Tailback and middle linebacker of the BC Lions.
These are two guys coming into this ball game. We kind of anticipated their styles matched up pretty well. Two guys who have been arguably the hottest guys at their respective positions in the league over the course of the last month or two. John Cornish and Adam Bighill.
Glenn, the open guy again is Nick Lewis, and now the Stampeders seem to be driving with much more ease. 13-yard pickup, first of all, on the last catch. Now 10 for Nick Lewis.
And it seems as if the Lions have been a little bit less aggressive, giving up some of that stuff underneath. But Kevin Glenn taking what he's being given. Chipping away at the yardage.
Solomon Elimimian getting more reps now on the Rookie of the Year at linebacker. Glenn's in duress here, and
Kevin Glenn's pass is incomplete.
that's an incomplete pass. Rob Cote came off the sideline, brought that play in, and Kevin Glenn was in deep trouble as soon as he got the football.
Yeah, Jabbar Westerman, the 99, provided the pressure. We mentioned earlier, older brother Jamal, of course now an NFL veteran. His middle brother Juwan signed this week, receiver to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers practice roster.
13th man chips in now. Decibel level rises, and flag flies. Looked like the 20-second play clock had ticked down to 0.
Procedure, Calgary number 50. It's a 5-yard penalty remaining second down.
Spencer Wilson, Canadian old lineman, coming out of the junior ranks. Flag for that infraction. So now second down, 15 yards to go. Stampeders have not scored an offensive touchdown tonight.
Offside, Calgary.
Maurice Price was about a yard offside. It's going to make it even longer.
Offside. Calgary number 17. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Nick Lewis also very close, but Price was way offside. Kevin Glenn upset about that. And whistles.
Timer. Reset the clock to read 9:50. 9:50 on the clock, please. We're on a hold.
And Lions fans sensing a little bit of confusion in that Stampeder huddle, amping things up every time they approach the line of scrimmage.
It is loud in here tonight. They've got a good crowd at BC Place. They have brought their voices. They reset the clock. 2nd and 20. Here's the rush again. Glenn can't avoid it. Ron Williams got his mitt on Kevin Glenn as he tried to deliver the football.
Karan Williams, the CFL sack leader, working against the youngster Spencer Wilson. Wilson's done a pretty good job, has his hands full with both these Lions defensive ends, but Spencer Wilson's a guy who's got a real bright future. Calgary native, spent a little bit of time at Saginaw Valley State University, a Division II school in Michigan. He returned home to play junior for the Calgary Colts.
Rene Paredes continues his perfect night. Try to pull the Stampeders a little closer. The beauty for the local fans here, for their football team this season. Been on a dream ride really since last year at this time. Defending Grey Cup champions, 9 minutes away from getting win number 10. Travis Lule overthrows Nick Moore, one of the guys Trying to fill the void. Big cleats to fill here tonight without G. Simon and Arland Bruce.
They've filled the void pretty effectively. You take that kind of experience, that kind of production out of your offensive lineup, and you expect to struggle, have a real letdown. But the young guys, as you mentioned, Nick Moore, Courtney Taylor in particular, have really stepped up. Sean Gore on the sidelines now, which means Akeem Foster is going to get some more snaps.
Flag flies. Lule.
Travis Lule's pass completed 33.
Underneath to Andrew Harris. See what these penalty markers are about. Good night for that young man. It's been a great season. A guy who has piled up a lot of yards
Offside.
from scrimmage.
BC number 19. Penalty is declined. It'll be third down.
Andrew Harris at the end of this season could lead the CFL in yards from scrimmage. Last time a Canadian did that, Terry Evanson back in 1967.
45 years ago.
Eight and a half to go. Callum angling one. Jason Armstead has some room here. That's a track meet now. One-on-one with McCallum. And Armstead eventually brought down. McCallum in the middle of it. Koshi Mwamba there as well. 32-yard return by Jason Armstead.
Well, Armstead brought out a semi-retirement. What seems to be about the fifth reincarnation of his career here in Calgary. Guy with a long career as a kick returner in this league.
Got a lot of speed and a lot of CFL jerseys.
He sure does. Called here to Calgary to fill in with Larry Taylor on the injured list.
Play action, Glenn, open man, it's got it! Romby Bryant, huge play for the Stampeders immediately into the red zone. Romby Bryant was wide open on that corner route.
And a good quick strike here again. Kevin Glenn moves the pocket a little bit. Romby Bryant lines up. It's a wide side wide out. So he's got a lot of field to work with on this one. Out there with Byron Parker. Both defenders jump the short route, which allows Bryant to get in behind the corner BP.
Cue the noise again. Here comes Karan Williams. Kevin Glenn, sidearm, Bryant, end zone touchdown! What a play! Back-to-back, Romby Bryant, who's been pretty much silent all night long. And Kevin Glenn and Romby Bryant hook up again, this time for a major score for the Stampeders, their first offensive touchdown of the night.
And a combination of shoddy tackling and a bit of bad luck, as it looked like a couple Lions defenders might have bounced each other off there. They're going to stay with the score, a 5-point difference right now. Calgary's going to go for two. Try and pull within a field goal.
And again, plenty of time left here in this fourth quarter. 7.5 to go. Suddenly, the Calgary Stampeders have life. Marquay McDaniel was in motion. Glenn, though, to John Cornish, and he has nowhere to go. Orange crush. But Romby Bryant finds the house. And suddenly the Stampeders are within 5. Two clutch catches by Romby Bryant on that last drive, his second major score of the season. The Stamps are back in this.
Yeah, and Nick Lewis is going to block here. Other receivers are going to block here, which means you're leaving a guy absolutely free to come up and make the play. Ideally, you got to put the guys in better positions to make the blocks. Maybe have the two outside guys block down, send a puller to get the outside guy. so that everybody's got better leverage on the play, is in a better position to make the blocks the way you want to block them instead of blocking guys their head up on.
Lions looking to answer back now. Tim Brown slashes up near the 35-yard line. Now this Calgary Stampeder defense that has been on the field a lot in the second half. Got a bit of a reprieve, a bit of a break there. Stampeder offense finally had the ball moving. Was able to find the end zone.
Now it's up to the BC Lions, who appeared like they were getting this game under control early in this fourth quarter.
Totally.
Now up to them to respond.
Established on the ground again. Only Lumbala this time, and met by 4 red and white uniforms. There's another big play coming here, and second down. Stampeders hold to get the ball back, and again, plenty of time to work with.
Juwan Simpson hobbles off the field for the Calgary Stampeders. I think he might have gotten a leg rolled up on in the bottom of that pile.
Lions offense scored 2 offensive touchdowns in the first half. Stamps got on the board in the end zone with a defensive touchdown. The second, Lula. Little pitch and catch with Marco Iannuzzi near the 51-yard line. Product of Harvard out of Calgary, Alberta.
Marco Iannuzzi, the middleman in this cluster. Going to push up field and work back to that football. Goes around the defender and back into the hole. Nice job by the sophomore.
14 yards on that play. 2 catches from Iannuzzi. And it looks like the Lions are taking a timeout here. Travis Lulay, this is where we have seen the evolution of Travis Lulay the last couple of years. You know, he's been down the road that other quarterbacks have gone before, learning the game, the apprenticeship of Travis Lulay, and then suddenly the lights just clicked on last year. Season for the ages, outstanding player in the CFL, Grey Cup winner, and who would have thought after an 0-5 start, he's learned to win in closing time. Tim Brown cutting back. Malik Jackson puts him on his back for a loss.
Malik Jackson had shifted into the middle of the Stampeder defense with Juwan Simpson on the sidelines, but Simpson, number 12, the Stamps' leading tackler, hobbles back in after a brief recovery period.
It's been a fairly clean game, only a couple turnovers. One resulting in points for the Stampeders. Lulay with the rush on, avoids one. Lulay stands in, and now he goes down. And that is the first sack the BC Lions have given up in 4 games as the Stampeders brought the heat. And once again, Juwan Simpson comes up limping.
Simpson, number 12, middle linebacker, is mugged up in the line of scrimmage between the tackle and the guard. Andrew Harris does a good job stoning him in the hole, but just as Lulay was forced to scramble, Simpson eventually got there and then tweaked his ankle again with the celebration.
Not something you want to do, especially at this time of the game. Huge kick. McCallum, Armstead back at his 10. Going backwards now. Has the seam. Jason Armstead is eventually brought down. Tim Kronk, the long snapper, able to bring down Jason Armstead after a huge kick by McCallum. And so now the Stampeders, with 4 minutes to go, Well, scrimmage near their 20-yard line.
Kevin Glenn returning to the field after directing a masterful drive a few minutes ago. Pull his team to within 5. Need to march almost the length of the field again.
Johnny Corzani snags one on the sideline.
Dante Marsh up quickly with the hit. Again, Kevin Glenn throwing the underneath balls, taking what the Lions defense has given him.
5-point game, 2nd and 6. Is this Nick Lewis time? The guy who's been going to in this 4th quarter has been Robbie Bryant. Clutch grab again, 8 more yards. Fresh set of downs. 4 catches, 63 yards now for Robbie Bryant. And again, had not heard from Robbie Bryant really up until this 4th quarter.
This is what Kevin Glenn needs from his veteran receivers. We saw it from Nick Lewis earlier with a shoestring grab in the flat. There we see Robbie Bryant with a defender draped all over him on 2nd down.
Here comes the blitz again. Glenn gets outside the pocket, goes downfield. Dante Marsh has the interception. Make that Ryan Phillips. Ryan Phillips has it. And Ryan Phillips may have just saved the game for the BC Lions. Kevin Glenn throws it away. Ryan Phillips comes up with his 2nd interception of the season. Worst time possible for the Stampeders.
Kevin Glenn under pressure, gets his eyes downfield and spots a couple of receivers in behind coverage, but going to his left, and with Karan Williams approaching, he just can't get enough on this one to get Jabari Arthur, who's in behind coverage, underthrown a little bit. Ryan Phillips, until last week, had gone over a year between interceptions. Now 2 weeks in a row with picks for number 21.
In his 140th game, Ryan Phillips now pitch pattern to Marco Iannuzzi. Again, the Stampeders here, 2:22 to go, still have a shot. They're going to have to use the clock and also hold the Lions to at least a field goal here. Our game story brought to you by Mr. Luke at Top to Bottom Maintenance, and take good care.
And Travis Lulay extends his streak of games with at least 1 touchdown pass. Nick Moore, the recipient to one of those touchdown passes, making the most of his opportunity in place of G. Roy Simon. The Canadian backs living up to their advanced billing, certainly. Both those guys around the 100 yards of offense range.
Lulay will burst forward, lunging for the 1st down. So he'll get another 3 downs to use up the clock.
Well, and when I talked earlier in this football game about Travis Lulay at times pulling the ball down and running and taking over games by doing it, this is exactly what I meant. Perfect example. Clutch play in this ball game. Making sure, and you see his head coach Mike Benavides on the right side of the screen. Thrilled with the kind of leadership shown by his field general, Travis Lulay.
Lulay will use the clock now. Play clock down to 3 seconds. And whistles.
Flags down.
Illegal substitution, 13 men in a huddle. BC, it's a 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
A 10-yard penalty. Lions have to be careful here. They could take themselves out of a field goal possibility. Another 1st down may be able to seal it for them, but field goal could also give them an 8-point advantage. Play action here. Andrew Harris wrapped up, tossed down. Second down.
And the Lions getting a little bit conservative with that play call. They set up a bit of a pass look and then going with the draw play to Andrew Harris.
A gain of 2, 2nd and 18, goals in the 43.
Stampeder defense sniffs that one out. See the center, 64, Angus Reid,
timeout.
hobbling a little bit
Calgary.
again.
Calgary will stop the clock. Second down and 18. So the Lions can't advance the ball here. This would be about a 48-yard field goal. Callum's longest on the season, 47, but you know the veteran has a big leg, particularly in late in games. Well, the CFL on TSN continues Week 15. Thanksgiving doubleheader. Game 1, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Montreal. Game 2, Saskatchewan and Toronto. Live coverage underway Monday at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific on TSN and TSN Mobile TV. This game still not in the W column for the Lions.
Well, for BC, unless they can pick up a first down here, or at least make this a much shorter field goal attempt, it becomes a difficult decision. I mean, you don't want to give the ball back to the other team with only a 5-point lead, but do you want to risk a field goal that long with Jason Armstead in the end zone returning?
All depends on this play. Out of the backfield, knocked down, and almost picked off. Guess who was in on the play again? Charleston Hughes. So indeed, the Lions are going to give the ball back to the Stampeders.
Charleston Hughes is going to come right off the end and just gets upfield enough on Ben Archibald to get in that passing lane for that little swing screen to Andrew Harris. Another great game for Hughes. And you imagine this is a guy back in 2008 who actually got cut by the Stampeders at the end of training camp, and if not for a string of injuries to their defensive ends, that's what led them to bring him back, and has since then rather consistently been their best defensive lineman.
McCallum's going to angle one, and he does to perfection. So no field goal attempt. The BC Lions are going to give the Calgary Stampeders the ball, and will give it to the Kevin Glenn and see if the Stampeders can go the length of the field.
And here's what's on the line for Kevin Glenn and the Calgary Stampeders. With this drive, trailing the BC Lions by just 2 points for first place in the West. Looking for an opportunity to get a piece of first.
103 yards to go for the win. 1 minute and 10 seconds remain. Here's the rush again. Glenn hangs in. Nick Lewis.
And the last pass complete to Nick Lewis.
Near the 22.
First down, Stampeders.
And the Stampeders find a way to pull this out here.
Very confident throw there from Kevin Glenn, backed up to his own goal line.
Over the top again, and Nick Lewis romps over 1,000 yards on the season, and one of the biggest catches of the season for Nick Lewis. Up near the midfield stripe. 52 seconds remain. Mr. Clutch.
And Nick Lewis just doing what Nick Lewis does best. Slot back in a fullback's body.
Another one looking for Lewis. That one thrown behind him. 8 up 9 seconds on the clock.
And now his coverage starts to collapse on Nick Lewis. As you mentioned, Rod has achieved his 9th straight 1,000-yard season. The defense is starting to collapse on the go-to guy. Somebody else is likely going to need to step up on this drive for Calgary.
2nd and 10. Clock runs now. Glenn's in trouble. Blitzed and buried. And now it comes down to this.
Defensive end, Cream Smith, number 94. Gets in on that one. Great job with the hands on Spencer Wilson. Just buries Glenn from the backside.
Kevin Glenn will not even be in the huddle here for this 3rd down play. It is Bo Levi Mitchell. 3rd down. Game on the line. Mitchell steps up and throws and knocked down. Jabari Arthur had it in his hands. That will do it. And once again, Ryan Phillips right in the middle of it. An interception earlier, knocked down here, and it looked like the Stampeders again had life.
With the clock ticking, the stronger arm. Bo Levi Mitchell in the game to get the ball down the field.
Ryan Phillips just separated ball and catcher. Look at this.
Yeah, Jabari Arthur had his hands on it perfectly before he could pull it into his body. Ryan Phillips, the hero of these last few minutes. Need to break things up.
So the Lions get a cushion now.
Everybody at home, lifers.
On top of the CFL West, their 10th win against 4 losses. 4-point lead on 2nd place Calgary. These teams again will meet 2nd last week of the season, and don't be surprised if they meet again in the postseason. This had a playoff-like intensity here, and the Stampeders denied down the stretch. And for the 16th straight season, the BC Lions have clinched a spot in the playoffs. The final here tonight, BC 27, Calgary 22. Good night, everybody, from BC Place. Happy Thanksgiving. Sports Center is next.